away. Brenda Clubine, you wanted to say something to Jennifer, too.
Wow. Jennifer, my heart goes out to you first and foremost. Secondly, all I can say, girl, is hang in there. You have to do whatever you can to remove that judge from your case. You cannot allow this woman, this female judge, to stand up and take away your restraining order, which protects you and your children for as much as it can. Get the media involved.
And Jennifer, stay on the line. We'll see if we can get you in touch with somebody who can give you some more advice. Olivia Klaus, so often, and you mentioned this in your documentary, Sin by Silence, people just say, well, just get out. Why can't you just get out?
Right. It's that I used to think that way too. And it's from getting to know these women and convicted women against abuse, I realized how hard that is. There's so many different dynamics. There is financial dynamics. They are dependent on these men. There are children involved. There are families. There's religious stigma. There's cultural stigma. There are so many different dynamics, and this is not a black and white issue. This is definitely a gray area with so many different layers that can just peel away to just this violence that is all encompassing. And I wish it was so easy that she could just leave, but it's really not.
We'd like to hear from you as we talk about Sin by Silence, a documentary about domestic abuse. 866-893-5722 is the number. You can let us know your thoughts on the Pat Morrison blog or call us with your questions and concerns at 866-893-KPCC. Alyce, LaViolette, you work with survivors and perpetrators. I suppose the question is, when you bring the abuser into the equation too, how does that change things?
Well, we separate them. I work with abusers groups, which is kind of the law in the state of California. You have to have same-gendered groups. And my group grew out of my work at the shelter. We actually, because we were seeing about 80% of the women who came to our shelter at a very short period of time, that we saw that they were going back to their partners. We wanted to work with their partners. And so we started a program at Women's Shelter in Long Beach. And I started that program because I couldn't find another job at the shelter. I actually didn't want to do it at first. But I think it's first line advocacy for battered women is to work with perpetrators, because you're trying to change the behavior of the people that have the women fleeing. And, I've been doing that for 30 years, and probably I wouldn't keep doing it if I didn't feel like it had an impact.
866-893-5722 as we talk about domestic abuse. Let's go to West Los Angeles because Melody is on the line there. Melody, thank you.
Hi. Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I have a situation where the father of my children, I left him due to domestic violence, and there was, I did press charges, and he was on probation and did the anger management classes and all that. But as soon as his probation was up, he abducted my children, and I'm having a really hard time getting them back. And he's saying that basically that everybody's telling me that it's the statute of limitations or whatever has run out, and too much time has since the charges were pressed against him. And what are the laws as far as custody goes?
Do you have a custody order, and how is that?
Well, I have a hearing actually tomorrow morning.
Were you given full custody of your children when you divorced? Were you given sole legal?
We were never married.
Okay.
And he's not the biological father of my children, but of my daughter, but my son, he is.
And he took both the children?
Yes, he did. And the judge is telling me that he's being allowed to be presumed father because he signed my daughter's birth certificate. But
well, the law in California, or the disposition of the court in California, is for shared parenting, which means that at the very least you should have your children half the time, and then you can go for more than that. But once again, you probably need an attorney and a victim advocate. You're in West LA?
Yes, I am.
I would contact Sojourn Shelter, Sojourn Services for Battered Women. They have victim advocates, court advocates there. They have a women's group for support. And they may have, and I'm not sure if they have any pro bono attorneys, but they might have recommendations for attorneys.
What was the name of the place?
It's Sojourn Services for Battered Women. If you call 411 and ask for the domestic violence hotline, if you ask for Sojourn, they'll give you the number.
Okay, Sojourn. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. And Brenda Clubine, who organized Convicted Women Against Abuse when you were behind bars for killing your husband. All these stories, you're shaking, you're nodding your head, they're resonating for you.
Well, yeah, that's something that I just hasn't changed. They're still giving abusers the children. What is wrong with our society that they keep allowing this? That's why Sin by Silence is so important. That's why it matters so much. People need to see this and they will be changed forever. Judges need to see this. Prosecutors need to see this. People that are in positions that make these authoritative decisions that don't have a clue what the cost is. They're ruining those children forever.